The official first day of summer. My favourite time of the year. Also, it's Thursday. It's beer day. I love Thursdays. Right, what do I got for you today? We got plenty to talk about. More about this clown Phillip Schofield too as well. Everywhere I turn I seem to hear about this guy. Well, let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of the Moor Army podcast, unleashed on this beautiful Thursday morning. As I sit here once again looking out my window and seeing another lovely morning, clear blue skies, not a cloud in the sky, and expected temperatures today of 23 or 24 degrees. Unbelievable. This weather is incredible. Not that I've got to see much of it. I got to see a little bit of it yesterday, maybe for an hour or two, if that. But I feel a lot of people who have been contacting me and letting me know what they've been up to. I think I did ask you on Tuesday. Some of you have been contacting me saying what you're up to, but we'll get into that later on in the podcast. But anyway, yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Moor Army podcast on this Thursday's edition. Hope everybody out there is, as always, keeping well. It's Thursday, my favourite day of the week. I love Thursdays, as you all know. If you're a regular listener to this podcast, you know I love Thursdays. Thursdays is my cheat day, where I have a few beers and switch off. But we'll tell a wee story, a wee secret to you in just a few moments about that. But anyway, moving on. So anyway, yes, welcome back. Before we move on any further in the podcast today, just want to get the old housekeeping, as I like to call it, out of the way. So if you're new to the Moor Army podcast here on whatever platform it is you're listening to us on, whether it be YouTube, please hit subscribe below, by the way, if you're listening to us on YouTube. Also, if you're listening to us on TuneIn Radio, hello, add us to your favourites. Spotify, thank you for downloading us and streaming us. Also, Apple Music as well. So thank you for all those platforms for getting listening to the podcast. As always, do appreciate it. If you want to get in touch with the podcast, as a lot of you do. You can contact us by the email, which is moorarmypodcast@yahoo.com, and also the social media feeds, which is Instagram, official Matthew Moore, and also on Facebook, which is the YouTube channel, Facebook page, Moor Army YouTube channel. So, hello there. How are you? And also the website, sorry, as well, I forgot to mention that. We can get all your merchandise for the podcast, merchandise for the YouTube channel. Check out all our videos throughout the years. You can go and check out everything. It's all there. That's your Moor Army hub, which is moorarmy.co.uk. But anyway, I didn't say it's Thursday. It's beer day for me, as I all know. I have a few beers on a Thursday night and chill out and switch off after a long week. But I'll be honest with you guys, it was kind of bad last night. I actually ended up having 2 or 3 beers last night as well, because the Europa League final was on last night, and I kind of thought to myself, you know something? The sun's shining, it's a beautiful night, screw it, I'm going to have a beer. Because Europa League football is normally on the Thursday night, if you're a football follower. And I'm starting the podcast again off with football. I know, I'm sorry. I'm going to get into some of the stories in just a minute. Before I do go any further today as well, I forgot to announce as well, we've got stories that we're covering today, and also Jackass of the Week's back today as well. So that's coming up shortly on the episode too as well. So Jackass of the Week, it's coming up. But anyway, yes. Someone was sitting there last night and I was saying, you know something, the Europa League finals on tonight. Maybe have a few beers. Should I, or just wait to Thursday? And I thought, you know something, I'll just hang off to Thursday. But then, you know what it's like, guys, when the sun shines out and everybody's like out enjoying themselves down at the beach, and they're having, especially here in Northern Ireland, as soon as you see the sunshine, it's like barbecue, beer, get the friends over, let's enjoy the weather. And that's exactly, well, I didn't go mad last night. I had 3 beers watching the final. I had 3 beers, and I watched the Europa League final and chilled out last night, which I actually thought it was an okay final. It wasn't too bad. It had its moments, but again, Seville have won the Europa League again for the 7th time in their history since the inception of the Europa League, since it changed from the UEFA Cup, which I preferred it still to stay as the UEFA Cup. But again, it's like in fucking football nowadays with all this money and stuff. But anyway, yes, it went to penalties last night, and it obviously Roma they were playing against, and Roma lost the penalty shootout. It wasn't a bad old game, to be honest. It wasn't too bad. But again, I had 2 or 3 beers and I chilled out last night, and then I came in after the final, sort of got myself organised after the final and took myself to bed because I was actually very, very tired. So, to say the least, that you all know, guys, I do have a wee drink on a Thursday night and stuff like that, and a few beers, and that's my day switching off from the week and all, whatever. But last night I was a kind of a bad boy. But sure, I'll make it up for it today. I've got a lot of plans on today, so I do have gardening planned for today. So I'll be pulling lawnmowers up and down gardens all afternoon, so that'll work off the calories from last night. And I'm actually planning tonight of just sitting in the back garden tonight at some point while the sun still shines, have a couple of beers, listening to a wee bit of music, maybe chilling out, listening to the radio, and then just have a few more wee drinks and then head off to bed as I always do on a Thursday night. So that's my plans for today. Nothing special, but it was good last night to sort of unwind, so we say. And plus the fact that I didn't have any kids in the fucking house makes it even better, because Lewis was away with his friends playing football till about 9:30 last night, and Brooke was away with her boyfriend till about 9:30, 9:45. So for those at that time for the whole final, I had literally nobody in this house, only me. It was fucking great. I had freedom. It was wonderful. But yes, it's been an adventurous 2 days since the last time I spoke to you. I've actually recorded two vlogs, and I haven't even actually put them out yet. I recorded one on Tuesday when I was out with Brooke. Because I was telling you on Tuesday's podcast, I was heading out with Brooke, and I went out with Brooke, and we went to buy new floors and stuff for the house, and went out for a bit of lunch, which by the way was absolutely fucking incredible. Big shout out to the staff here in Bangor of Industrial Brew in Bangor. Little coffee shop near Sainsbury's in Bangor here. Wow, the food in there is to die for. And the staff are wonderful. They're such nice people, and it was great. And me and Brooke went in there for lunch, and fuck me, man, the food was incredible. I asked for a sandwich, and they give you they call it a small portion of half-loaded, like, chip potato things, whatever they are. They're like, and I just, okay, I'll take some others aside. A small portion, Jesus Christ, I nearly fucking shit myself when they put it in front of me. I was like, whoa, that and sandwiches. Brooke had their soup and sandwiches, and that portion was incredible too as well. The staff it was obviously really, really nice and stuff, so big shout out to those guys. We had a great lunch in there. I was planning maybe take myself up there again before the end of the week for a wee coffee or something, so, because the staff are friendly and it's a great wee spot. And I think I shared them before actually on the Facebook page, so can't complain. The food was lovely. But we're out there and we got our new floors and all organised. They're coming in 2 weeks' time. We're getting the living room all re-renovated again. We're getting new floors put in and fresh coats of paint and stuff like that. I'm going to order a new sofa and get a few bits and bobs done round down the stairs, and then the hallway as well as getting the new floors and all put in. Bit of touching up of the paint as well. It's like, guys, with a house, you gotta fucking touch everything up, every so often, especially when you get teenagers in the house. And before we go away on our holidays, I'm hoping to plan to get my room, my bedroom, a bit of a facelift as well. And then obviously with Brooke and Lewis getting older now, they obviously need their bedrooms modernised, should we say. So got a few wee things planned over the next few months for the house, so this is the start of it. So it is, but it's been a busy few days, to be honest with you guys, but it was just nice to switch off last night and just watch the football, which I'm intending to do tonight again. There's no football on tonight again, but I'm intending to just switch off and hopefully try and get into this nice sunshine today, because the weather out there is just fucking incredible. And a lot of you have been sending me like Instagram messages and emails and stuff telling me what you've been up to and stuff, and telling me you're having barbecues, you're going to the beach, you're out for day trips, road trips, whatever it is you're doing. So it's been great to hear from you, because I was actually sitting last night before the game and at half time, and just before I went to sleep last night, I was sitting on the emails and the Instagram on my phone, just replying to a couple of people, just saying, like, listen, thanks for your message, I appreciate it, and thank you so much for writing me a message, and answering a couple of wee questions and stuff like that there, because guys, I enjoy doing all that there, you know what I mean, because at the end of the day, it's you guys that obviously keep this podcast going and keep my YouTube channel going, whatever else, so I love hearing from you. So I was just sitting replying to a few of you last night, so, but anyway, that's pretty much what I've been up to the last 2 days, nothing special. So I haven't, so I'm hoping to drop those 2 vlogs today before I go and do my own thing tonight. I'm going to be doing the vlog from the other day. In that vlog, actually, guys, you'll see me and Brooke out briefly out. You'll see Lewis picking up his award at the Football Awards night this past Friday night. I also threw in there a wee clip. There's a fan group that goes to all our matches. They're called the Ultras, and they were singing songs after Lewis had left the awards night, because Lewis obviously had to go home because of the laws and stuff for the venue and stuff like that. So obviously Lewis was only 14, but he had to go home. But the boys were singing them songs and stuff, so I threw that into the vlog as well. So, and then obviously I'm obviously recorded another video as well, so they're all heading up onto the channel, so stay tuned for those. But anyway, what have I got for you today? Fuck me, man, all I've seen this last 48 hours on the news is this clown Schofield still. This whole situation going on with Phillip Schofield, all this stuff, all these people are coming forward and saying that how have a horrible wee man he is, how corrupt he is, and how narcissistic he is, and all the toxicity in ITV, and ITV is getting fucking slaughtered at the minute with all these people, coming in and saying how nasty it was, and people are now calling for this programme on ITV this morning to be cut. It's come out this morning that he's now been cut from all other future programmes with ITV. There's a lot of like TV people who he's done work for and different things that he's done, all different projects. They're all pulling away from him too as well. So it's getting to the point now where Mr. Schofield is getting fucking hammered from every angle possible. I saw an interview last night before I went to sleep with Kerry Katona. Now, we all know what Kerry Katona is like. If you don't know who Kerry Katona is, she's been a girl band years ago, and she's well known, obviously. But she obviously gets a lot of hate herself from, in recent times especially, with doing OnlyFans and doing things like that there. But again, that's her decision. Back in her day, she was a heavy drug user and alcoholic and whatever else. But she's admitted to it last night on a very honest interview she done last night, saying that she's been clean for 14 years and she's just. But then at the time she was struggling. She was on an interview with Phillip Schofield on this morning, where she was starting to take medication for, what was it she said she was being diagnosed with at the time? I can't even remember what it was. And Phillip Schofield was basically mocking her on that interview, and she said still to this day, all these years later, she feels traumatized from that interview. But again, she was open and honest about ITV, and she was open and honest about the whole experience with Phillip Schofield, and she wasn't trying to you gotta go and watch it, guys. It's on the internet. If you go search it up on YouTube, even you can watch the interview. Bipolar disorder, that's what it is. She was getting medication, started taking medication for bipolar disorder, and she only started taking it, and her body was only starting to get used to it at the time. So sometimes she was slurring occasional few words, and Phillip Schofield was exposing that and being a complete asshole to her, basically. So she's done a very open and honest interview yesterday. If you want to go and search it up on YouTube, you can watch it, or on social media you can watch it, where she's actually really, really honest about this here whole situation. But in the last sort of 48 hours since the last time I spoke to you guys, this story has been going everywhere. I mean, it's just, there's more and more comes out of it, more people's coming forward. Phillip Schofield was due to host the British Soap Awards, but he's now been replaced. So this is a rumour going around this morning that apparently Jim McDonald's going to be replacing him. It just seems to be getting worse for this man every single day. It's crazy. I mean, I'm sure you all out there have probably heard the stories about him apparently having this affair with this young man. He's admitted he's a liar. He's admitted to all these different people that he was lying to people. He was lying to his wife, and it just seems to be going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And this guy, I don't think this is going to end anytime soon. So it don't. So, but there you go. It's going to be an interesting one to watch. But anyway, let's move on to something else. I've had a few emails the last couple of days, and I was talking about it on the podcast the other day about people, I've had couples contact me and stuff and say about compromising in relation to decorating their homes and stuff like that. There, I've had people contacting me saying they bought their first homes and stuff like that. There, well, it's now come out today that apparently house prices, yes, that's right, mortgage rates are set to spike as house sales drop. So I've had a few people, I've talked about it on the podcast the last couple of weeks as well, about people obviously buying homes and stuff like that there. It says people in Britain and Northern Ireland and the UK could face yet another mortgage spike as house sales suffer setback in May. It says here, house prices growth, this is a 0.1% in month-on-month fall in May. So house prices fell further back in May. So anybody out there who's wanting to buy a house, I always remember the property market back in the day when I was first getting onto the property market back in the day. I mean, I bought my first house, guys, back in 2005. January, I moved into my first house, 2005. I bought my first house in 2005 for £59,995. I bought £60,000, so I would say. I bought my first house for. This is a wee story for you when it comes to properties and stuff. I thought I'd bring this up this morning because of people who contact me all the time saying, any advice of when I get onto the property market, if you have any advice of, like, for example, them couples contacting me, how do we compromise and things like that. So, just saw this story this morning. I just thought I'd bring it up and tell you a wee story about my experience in it. As I said to you guys, back in 2005, I bought my first house for $60,000 in 2005. And to be quite honest with you, if I had still been living there to this day, that house would have almost been mine. I regret obviously selling that fucking house because I absolutely adored that house more than anything in the world. I bought the first property with Brooke and Lewis's mum. We bought our first wee house, and honestly, guys, we put a lot of effort into that home, a lot of money into that home, and we had that house sitting like a palace. We done the whole house from top to bottom. It was just an incredible wee home. And it's hard to explain at the time, but around about 2 years later, the property market just went absolutely fucking insane. Properties were selling for stupid money, and I mean stupid money. And at the time, I'm just going to be honest with you here, as I always am honest with you on the podcast, my wife at the time saw the money sign and she was like, let's just sell this house and get a big profit and move on and we'll get a better house and stuff. And I'm going, no, I don't want to leave. I want to stay here. This house is, but guys, it's hard to explain. I actually loved that house so much. But again, at the time, I was away working quite a lot. I was a manager. I don't think I was a manager at the time. I was working in a department store at the time, and I was earning good money, and I was working all the hours under the sun. And I was just at that specific time, guys. My life couldn't be any better. I was getting married in the February that year. Brooke came along in the November that year, same year as well. So I bought my first house in January, which I first moved into, because obviously all the paperwork and all was going through previously before the new year. So I just moved in a brand new house in January. I got married a month later. Brooke came along in November. That year was incredible for me. It was a great year. I had everything. I had a nice new home. I had a good job. I had a wife. I had a daughter on the way. Everything was going really, really well. But anyway, that's another story. But anyway, moving on, back to the property thing. The property market was absolutely fucking insane back then. And I don't know how she managed to convince me to do it, but their mum talked me into doing it. And we sold our house 2 years later. Yes, guys, 2 years later for $145,000. And we only put in maybe about 15, 20 grand into the house. Put in new floors, got the bathroom all fixed up, done a few adjustments to the kitchens, got everything all redecorated from head to toe, put new wooden floors in everywhere, got everything all done basically. And it literally 145 grand in the space of 2 years. Some of the properties I saw at the time going absolutely fucking boogaloo money at the time. And again, I look back at that now and I regret that. But again, that's just one of those things you learn from life. You learn to regret it and move on from it. But then, moving fast forward and all these years later, to a conversation I actually had with a guy who's a very good friend of mine. He's a listener to this podcast, actually, Joe, who Lewis and I used to travel to football with. He's no longer with our football club because he's away working elsewhere and stuff like that. So I was talking to Joe during the whole time about COVID and stuff, the way mortgages were going up and mortgage payments were going up and everything was all changing and the whole thing was going fucking mad, and I was talking to him about it and how him and his wife were struggling to get by and things like that, you know. And then you look at properties nowadays compared to what they were 18 years ago. I can't believe it's fucking 18 years since I bought that house. But you know what I mean, the property market fluctuates, it goes up and down, but at the minute it's fucking mental, like the mortgage payments each month. I mean, guys, I look back up some of my old... See, I'm one of these type of people, I keep important documents and stuff like that for records and whatever else, just in case anything, as I always say, come back and bite you in the fucking ass. But I was looking back at some... I kept some paperwork of my old first house that I bought and kept, obviously, the original bits and bobs just to keep myself right and whatever. And I always keep folders and stuff and organisation and stuff like that. I'm a bit OCD when it comes to things like that. But my mortgage payments back in 2005 were £220 a month. £220 a month. And I look at now, mortgages out there, people are paying £700 and £800 a month, sometimes £600, £700 a month. You know what I mean? That is fucking crazy. It's absolutely insane. The amount of money people are paying for properties nowadays, it's absolutely insane. So to see that story come out today, I mean, mortgage rates are set to spike again as the house sales drop. House sales are starting to go down again. You know what I mean? And funny enough, it's actually funny we're talking about property. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, you actually see it in my vlog. Lewis and I were out walking. I can't remember where it was the vlog we were out looking for Prime for Lewis. And I actually ran into the girl who actually helped us buy our first house that day, walking through a car park in town. I ran into her and I haven't seen her for fucking donkey years. And she was just like, "Oh, hello, stranger, how are you?" And, you know, and I was telling her about, you know, I'm divorced now and Brooke and Lewis lived with me full time. And she was like, "Oh my God, seriously?" And she looked at my wee lad and she went, "Is this your wee lad?" And I says, "Ah, he's 14 now." She'd never met him before. And she says, "Well, what age is your wee girl then?" Last time I seen your wee girl, she was like maybe 1.5, 2. I mean, Brooke's 18 this year. She was like, "What?" I was like, "I know." It's fucking insane. Anyway, yes, so just thought I'd bring a thing about properties today, guys, because a lot of people, you know, contact me, and especially when for a few weeks there, we were talking about the whole cost of living stuff, and people were saying they were struggling to pay their mortgages and or struggling to pay their rent, or struggling to pay their water rates, or pay their council tax and stuff. People who listen to me from the mainland England were saying to me all these different things they were struggling to get by and stuff. So I just saw that story and I just thought I'd bring it up today because, you know, there's a lot of people out there who contact me about, you know, buying their first home and decorating their first home, and like a couple of the other days send the contact to me about compromising again. And I think he was saying about his man cave or something like that, wasn't he? For what I remember. I don't even want to talk about these clowns, but I'm gonna have to bring it up again because when I see these fucking dopey window licking arseholes who need to be dragged out by the neck and put behind bars because they're fucking nuts. It's all over the news again, guys. I've tried to avoid it. I don't want to talk about it no more, but I saw this last night and I wanted to bring this up. These oil protesters, honestly, these people need to be slapped. And fuck it. I actually saw a policeman yesterday finally grabbing them by the scruff and dragging them across the fucking road. because they were trying to stop was it the England cricket team or something like it was? They were trying to stop them from getting to the game. But I saw this last night, and this really, 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 really annoyed me. Just Stop Oil protesters to be funded, their funds to be doubled by the Labour Party as eco warriors get major cash boost. So they're being given more fucking money to sit on our roads, which people pay tax for, pay their road tax, pay their working tax, for these fucking morons to sit on these roads and try and ruin events and sporting events and concerts and press conferences and all these different things that people are doing in a normal life. These fucking morons are running around with their bright orange clothes on and their big banners, and they're just unbelievable. I've had so many of you contact me about these Just Oil protesters and saying to me how much you would love to get out of your cars and literally fucking drop kick them down the road. You know, that guy last week who dragged them across the road to get them out of the way to let people go to their work was charged by police. But then I seen a policeman dragging one of them yesterday across the... Oh, I don't fucking know. I give up. These people need to be stopped. It says here as well, Labour... what's his name? Labour donor Dale Vincent pledged to double the amount of coughed up by activists in a bid to boost Just Oil war chest. He says he's trying to push to get their funds doubled. These people who are sitting on roads, running into all this different stuff they've been up to, like destroying art galleries, spraying paint all over businesses, spraying paint all over Scotland Yard police station. Like, if I was just like me and you, the normal listener, we'd be behind bars. But now I read their party being given more funds. They're going, why don't they just get up and get a fucking job? I watched these people scream at them the other day. I don't know where it was. I think it was a Facebook story or something I saw the other day, and these people were shouting at them going, you know, you're all born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You need to get a fucking job. Get up off these roads and stop acting like clowns. Like, I saw him at the Chelsea Flower Show last week, and the guy who was filming on his phone was going, you fucking morons. Like, seriously, what are you doing, you clown? What planet do you people live on? And all you get out of them is, we should be stopping new oil and new gas. But you're using oil and gas in your fucking houses. All your stuff, I could go on and on and on about this, but I'm not going to. But I just saw that there last night, and I thought, you know something? These people just need to be, I don't fucking know. I would love to see them over here. I'd love to run into them over here. I would just walk right in the middle and go, what is your point? Can I do an interview for you for the podcast? Can I interview you for my podcast and ask you why you're standing here? And I would do it, guys. I wouldn't give a fuck. I would stand and ask them questions like, why are you supergluing yourselves to roads? Why are you stopping people trying to go about their day-to-day business? Why are you trying to stop people from having a life because you're a moron and you live on planet fucking Looney Tune? And, you know, I would ask them. I wouldn't care. I actually wouldn't care, because people like that are just, I don't know, wired to the moon. But here, I don't want to bring this clown up again too as well, but I'm going to anyway. What about old Harry, eh? Apparently his marriage now is on the rocks, and he could be possibly getting deported next week from the US because he lied on his visa application. Oh, this guy's a clown. He really is a clown. And they're all saying now apparently his marriage is on the rocks. I've been saying this for a long time. Their marriage will not last. She's all about her. And then they come out this morning saying there's going to be no more documentaries, no more all this stuff to try and get attention. Do you know why it is? Because people are smelling bullshit a mile away. I've been saying this for weeks, and it's just because now people are starting to realise that they realise that the world doesn't spin around them, and that they're being sort of like exposed for being complete clowns, and people are fed up hearing about them. So This is another thing that I was reading this morning, actually, before I come on the air here today. They were saying, like, oh, we're not going to do more podcasts and do more documentaries and all that. We're just going to try and stay private. Because people know for a fact that you're full of shit. And especially Megan. Megan, listen, see, when things quieten down and things don't go her way, she'll be up and away. Mark my words. She'll be up and away. She has to be. Of course she will be. But yes, apparently Harry could be getting deported from US. And I saw a thing on TV yesterday, briefly, asking the general public in the street, would you have Harry back in the UK? And they're all like, no. Sleepy Joe's country can keep him because we don't want him back because the way he's treated the royal family and the way he was around his grandmother before she passed and the way he was with everybody else around him, the way him and her treat people. And then the recent lies about the supposed car chase in New York, which was a load of shit, we all know that. So yeah, you can keep him. So old Harry could be getting the boot. That should be fun to watch. Unbelievable. And I see there's more controversy going on in politics as well. More MPs suspended over sexual investigation. Apparently that he was being inappropriate towards women and stuff like that, as young as 19. So another MP has been suspended. Jeremy Davis from the Labour Party has been suspended. Also, our old friend we haven't spoke about for weeks, old bumbling Boris, has been asked to hand over his COVID messages on WhatsApp and his notebooks from during the pandemic, which he's handed over. So that'll be an interesting story to see over the next few weeks. Also, apparently in Parliament this week, they're going to be slating ITV about the whole Schofield bullshit as well. So politics is politics. You know, and I've been saying this I wish I had been doing this podcast during lockdown. I really do. I wish I'd have been doing this podcast during lockdown. Because I'd have been calling all this bullshit for the last 3 years and it's all starting to come out now. You know what I mean? It's baffling. I watch this now and sort of go, told you so. But sure, what am I to know? Sure, you know, I wish I had been doing this during the old lockdowns because it would have been fun. We update for you guys on the Madeleine McCann. The search is still going on. It's been going on now. I talked about it last week. Still going on. So it is over in Portugal. And I obviously give you my view on it last week, saying how I felt about it all. Saying, you know, it's a bit sad, obviously, that the child still hasn't been found. But again, it's one of those things. But yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on in the news in the last 48 hours. Not very much for you today, guys, to be quite honest. But just the usual crap about these protesters and Harry and the Schofield thing is pretty much what's going on in the world right now. But what I'll do is now, and just I'll obviously trying to open up the emails here. I'm so disorganised this morning. It's actually really, really shocking how disorganised I am this morning here. I'm trying to, there we go. Just opening up some of your emails and stuff here now because I want to obviously get into some of your emails and questions today here on the podcast before I head down the road and obviously announce Jackass of the Week, which I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to try and make this a bit more shorter today as well, guys, because I've got a lot on today. So, but I got some interesting questions from you guys. So I will do. So, in fact, I'll do Jackass of the Week after the questions. How's that sound? I'll do some of your questions now for you here. So, right, let's get into some of your questions here. First of all, in the email, which is moorearmypodcast@yahoo.com. Thank you very much for all your questions over the last couple of days. I do appreciate it. Right, I've got a Phillip Schofield question here from David. David, who is from London, has wrote me an email here saying, "Hi Matthew, how are you doing today? Just wanted to ask you a quick question about the Phillip Schofield scandal. Do you think ITV knew about this situation the whole time while it was going on? What is your view on this here? It's horrible to see the fact that he cheated on his wife for all those years and his wife never knew nothing about it, or did she really? Stories have been coming out the last few days that apparently people within ITV did know exactly what was going on. Do you think Holly Willoughby knew as well what was going on? Also, after watching the first part of the Eamon Holmes interview the other night, when he was talking about the time where he came out as being gay, he said it was all a ploy, it was all acting as a plot. What is your view on this? I think it's personally disgusting, and I think this is one of the biggest scandals to come out of TV since the Jimmy Savile situation, the Martin Bashir situation with BBC over the Princess Diana interview, and more. What is your view on this? Thanks for taking the time, and I hope this message reached you in good health. David. Okay, well, that's a very good email. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. My view on it is, I think ITV did know about it, and I think they were covering it up. ITV are a very woke channel, and I don't care what anybody says, they are very, very woke. This whole be kind crap, that just pisses me off. Do I think Holly Willoughby knew? I think she knew he was gay, but do I think she knew he was having that affair with that young man? I don't know. But again, in this day and age, TV personalities, it's very hard to trust anybody nowadays. You were saying there about this being the biggest cover-up scandal since the times of the Jimmy Savile and the Martin Bashir. I've talked about Martin Bashir in this podcast before. That Martin Bashir bullshit, my view of it is, if Martin Bashir had not done that interview with Princess Diana, she would still be here today. My opinion, and you're probably thinking, why are you saying that for? If she hadn't done that interview, she wouldn't have lost her royal security. If she hadn't lost her royal security, this is my opinion, by the way, so this is just my view of it. If she still had her royal security, she would have never got into that car that night in Paris, and she still would have been here today. That's my view on it. Martin Bashir is a weasel wee bastard who tricked Diana into doing that interview. And again, I think the girl obviously wasn't in the right frame of mind. But the fact that she knew what was going on with now King Charles and Queen, I don't want to call her Queen Camilla. She knew what was going on. And again, I reckon if she'd never done that interview, none of that would have happened. And that's my opinion on it, personally. Cover up since the Jimmy Savile scandal. Well, Jimmy Savile was just a sick, twisted bastard. I've talked about that before. Again, is it a cover-up from ITV? I think it personally is. The whole recent cover-up, I think it is a cover-up. So, yeah, I just, you could talk about it all day, and you get really in the detail with it all, but at the end of the day, he's gone, and it's just going to keep going on. And is there going to be more coming out on it? Probably. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, thanks for your email. Very insightful email. Thank you very much for that. I do appreciate it. I'll be heading to your neck of the woods very soon, London. And Lewis actually reminded me today, 27 days or something till we go to London. Woo woo, can't wait. So, yes, thank you for your email. I hope you're enjoying the nice weather too. Let's get into another one here. Let's have a look here and see what I've got here for you now as well. Oh dear, I'm looking through these emails here. I'm just looking at that window there, and that day is just getting more and more beautiful. I can't wait to get outside today. Right, let's get into another one here. Let's have a look and see. One here from Claire. What's she saying here? Claire says, "Hi Matthew, long time listener of the podcast. You read my email back a few months ago and I wanted to say thank you for that. Really enjoy your podcast every week, sometimes more than others. The fact that now you can be more free and speak more openly compared to what you can do on your YouTube channel. Myself and my husband love listening to your podcast every single week, especially recent times with all the recent stuff coming out of the woodworm, I speak, in relation to all the COVID scandals, all the nonsense, all the bullshit, and all the crap from celebrities as well. Love hearing new views on this every single week. Just wanted to drop an email to say, keep up the good work. Love your YouTube channel as well. Love Brooke and Lewis. Can't get over how beautiful your daughter looks now, and I can't believe she's now 18 almost. I'm sure you have big plans for her 18th birthday. Daddy's little girl's no longer a little girl. Keep up the good work. All the best. Take care, Claire." Well, listen, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, she's not my little girl anymore. She's 18, coming up here in a couple of months. Don't even remind me. I'm currently working on a montage video for her 18th birthday for the YouTube channel. God, guys, see, trying to put that together, it's a nightmare. It's heart jerking because you watch back some of the stuff when she was small and it's like, oh my God. Yeah, I know. But I'm looking forward to show. I'll show it to her first, and I'll show you her reaction to it. Why I show it to you guys as well at the same time. I can't wait. Even thinking about it now, it's getting me emotional now thinking about it, because I've about a quarter of it done already, and it's really, really good. Like trying to dig out all the footage from years ago. It's crazy. So it is. But anyway, thanks for your email. I do appreciate it. Right, let's get on to another one here. Okay, one here from Alex. Alex wants to know, "Hi Matthew, just wanted to ask your opinion on all these Just Oil protesters. I know you've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks, but I want to give you my view on it. I think it's absolutely nonsense the way they are treating people and the way they're holding people back to get to their daily jobs and more, especially holding back the emergency services on the roads like ambulances, police services and more. I saw a line of them in Brighton a few weeks ago and I absolutely thought it was disgusting. Every time someone approached them to ask them to move off the road, they were like zombies in the night and didn't even move and didn't even flinch. I personally think that the government should put some type of law into place to stop these people from being on the roads and distracting people, especially when they're trying to ruin good day events out like the Chelsea Flower Show, the Snooker World Championships, football events, horse racing events and much, much more. What have they ever done? All they need to do is get up, grow up, get a life, get a job and move on. Thank you for taking your time to read my email. Love the podcast. As always, take care. I can't even say anymore. I just agree with everything he just said. He said he saw him in Brighton, so I assume he's from Brighton. I actually haven't seen any over here yet. I can't wait. I'd love to see some over here. I'd fucking throw them off the bridge into the Lagan River in Belfast. Honest to God, they're a fucking nightmare. But anyway, thanks for your email. I appreciate it. I'll do one more before I move on to the other platforms as well. Okay, I've got one here, which I can actually see here right away, is a local girl. Her name is Katie, and she is from Belfast. Hello, Katie. How you doing? Hi, Matthew. Just wanted to ask you a quick question or two, if you don't mind, for your podcast for this week. By the way, love the podcast and love your YouTube channel. I came across your YouTube channel about a year or so ago after I moved back home from living in France for a long, long time with my husband. I am a Belfast girl, but wanted to move back home after I lost my mother last year. I'm very sorry to hear about that. We have now lived in Belfast for almost a year, and we came across your YouTube channel along with other people, including the likes of comedian Colin Geddes, Shane Todd, and more. But we came across your channel and saw one of your videos of your tour that you done with your ex-girlfriend Sandra of the Crumlin Road Jail. So myself and my sister, who is from Belfast as well, has decided to go and check this out, which by the way we thought was a really good, interesting tour. Just wanted to ask you your views on the tour itself and also ask you as well, what was your experience like growing up in Belfast as a young boy before you moved away, as you have said on some of your podcasts before, when you were 12. What was it like for your experience growing up as a child during the Troubles in Belfast and in Northern Ireland? It's great to be back home, but it's also great to see family and friends once again. I enjoy your podcast every week as I listen to it in my job, in my office, on Spotify. Also, my husband enjoys your videos, especially your Liverpool videos. He wants to know when you head back to Anfield again. Sorry for rambling on, just wanted to ask you these wee questions to see what your thoughts and views are on this. Take care, love the podcast, all the best, take care, Katie. That's a pretty interesting wee email. Okay, right, let's get into this one. The Crumlin Road Jail, that was a very good tour. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. Guys, want to go and check it out in my channel, you can. I done that tour, about a year and a half ago nearly. I went and done that day. It was a great day, so it was such a fun day. I used to live just across the road from it, and I've showed it in the vlog many a time, where I grew up in Belfast. I actually thought it was a very interesting tour. The information was fantastic, and the stuff that you learned about the jail. I mean, I've known a lot of people who actually have been in the jail as inmates. Obviously a lot older people now. Some of them are actually dead now. But apparently it wasn't a very nice place to be in back in the day. It was right across the road from the Crumlin Road Jail, which if you were convicted to go to jail in Crumlin Road Jail, you were taken under the road because the courthouse was across the road, so there was a tunnel underneath the road that took you into the actual jail. So go and watch the video, guys, you can see it yourself. I thought it was quite good. So I did actually thoroughly enjoyed it. You asked me about my experience growing up in Belfast back in the day. I mean, I left Belfast in 1992, but I grew up in Belfast till I was about 12. My experiences, guys, people tell me this all the time, I have a really good memory. Sometimes I actually scare the shit out of people sometimes when I remember certain things, because even whenever Sandra and I were together at the time, I used to say to her certain things and she used to look at me and go, how the hell do you remember all these things? Now, there's things obviously I've forgot about, but then it obviously comes back to you eventually. But there's certain things in my life that has happened that it's like a memory thing I have in my head. I always remember, and some of the things that I remember the most is Belfast. growing up in them times in the 80s and early 90s, it was a different time in the world, to be honest with you guys. There's certain things that I remember, some things I'd actually rather forget about, to be quite honest with you as well. But I still have a lot of good memories from being up there, especially this time of the year, the summertime. I used to love the summertime in Belfast. So I used to love the summertime. Some of the things we used to get up to. I've talked about this before in the podcast, the different stories and stuff I've told and whatnot, but I've obviously got a lot of bad memories, living in a housing estate where there was trouble going on and you don't know what was going on next, and you hear about people getting killed and all the different things that was going on during that period of time before obviously before the whole peace agreement happened in 1998, the Good Friday Agreement. But back in them days, it was just obviously I was a kid growing up. I'm thinking about what it would be like to be an adult living in that sort of time as well. But I have a lot of good memories and also some bad memories, obviously, with the likes of the bullying and all the stuff that I went through up there too as well. But no, I do have some great memories, and whenever I do go up there sometimes and have a look around, stuff like that, now all them memories flood back and stuff. So it's I do think of the happy times that I had up there too as well. But you say you're just back home there from living away for a few years. Well, welcome home. I hope you are enjoying your time back home again. And thank you for the email. I do appreciate it. But yeah, that Crumlin Road jail, I remember when I lived up there, when the jail was still open at the time. You know what I mean? That was a long time ago. I moved from Belfast in 92, so what's that, 31 years ago? That's crazy when you think about it. Like, that's 31 years ago. That is insane. A lot has obviously happened since then. Obviously, where I lived in Belfast has completely changed now as well. But again, I always think back at the good times. Always remember the good times. But as I said to you, there are people just sometimes look at me and go, how the fuck do you remember all this shit? I just have a good memory. So I do. But anyway, listen, thank you for your email. I appreciate it. I'm actually, as I'm talking to you now, I'm just sitting here and I'm getting all these wee flashbacks and stuff from back in the day. I'm just sort of sitting here thinking to myself, all these different things that happened to me, especially that I used to love this time of year. When you were a kid, I'd play football with your friends and water fights with your friends and just all wee different things you were doing. You know what I mean? It was just great times and innocent times as well. And this is where I always say to my kids nowadays as well, you should be out doing things like that when you're that age, because when you're small and young, because nowadays they all walk around with mobile phones in their hands and don't have a care in the world. So, but anyway, thanks for your email. I do appreciate it. Right, let's get into one or two of your Instagram messages before we announce the old jackass of the week. Let's go into the Instagram here. Okay, I've got one here on Instagram from Brett. Brett is from Glasgow. Hello, Brett. How you doing there? Thank you for your message. Appreciate it, as always. Brett writes to me, "Hi Matthew, how you doing? Just wanted to let you know that I am travelling down to London for the WWE shows with my two sons. We are heading to the O2 on the morning of the show, and we're hopefully looking forward to maybe running into you and Lewis at the show. We know you announced a few weeks ago on your YouTube and the podcast you're attending the show in London, and hopefully throughout all the thousands of people we may run into you at the event. Just wanted to say, hope you have a great trip with Lewis. It's also our first trip to London as well, and we look forward to hopefully maybe running into you. Take care, Brett, Glasgow." Yes, if you do see us, please come up and say hello. I've had a few people actually contact me saying they're heading over for that event at the O2 in London, so we're looking forward to getting over there. And hopefully maybe run into a few people who watch us on YouTube or maybe listen to us on the podcast here. So I hope you have a safe trip down from Glasgow. I don't know why you're flying down, or maybe you're taking the train down or something like that, but we're looking forward to it. Lewis mentioned this morning, he says, "Daddy, it's only so many days till we go to London," and I'm like, I know. It's going to be fun. That's what I'm looking forward to. But anyway, yes, let's get on to our Instagram message here before I move on to the Facebook page. Right, I've one here from Kenneth. Kenneth, I'm trying to pronounce his surname. I can't even pronounce that surname. I do apologise. Kenneth writes to me here, "Hi Matthew, just wanted to write a wee quick message for the podcast this week, just to let you know that I enjoy your podcast every week. Keep up the good work. just wanted to ask you a quick question about your summer plans. What are your plans for the summer this year? I know you mentioned you're going on holiday, but have you any other unique plans as well? I am currently planning on going on a cruise with my partner. We have just recently retired and we're going on our first cruise this July, which we are looking forward to. We are very interested in your podcast, especially when you talk about politics, about all the exposure of all the morons, as you call them. But we're look forward each week to listening to your podcast. Keep up the good work, and we will obviously have a good summer as well. I hope you have a great summer too. Take care. Well, there you go. You're going on a cruise. Can I come with you? Seriously? No, all jokes aside, can I come with you? I want to go with you. I've always wanted to go on a cruise just to see what it's like. I have a few friends of mine who've went on cruises with their partners and stuff, and then other people who know once they retire go on cruises and stuff. I've always wanted to go on a cruise, just for the experience of it all, just to say, listen, I experienced this. So, but yeah, I hope you have a great cruise, and thank you very much for your message. I do appreciate it. Right, let's get on to one. I'll answer one Facebook one, and then I gotta go, guys, because I'm going to announce the jackass of the week for this week. So I am. So, right, let's get another one here from Facebook from Keith. Keith on Facebook has wrote me a message. Keith Ferguson, his name is. So, hello, Keith Ferguson. How are you? Keith Ferguson has wrote to me on Facebook saying, hi, Matthew. Just heard you answering a question from a listener a few weeks ago about setting up their own podcast. I too want to set up my own podcast and talk about all things about politics, news and more, and just wanted to know how I go about getting set up. When it comes to technical minded stuff, I have no clue. I have asked my nephew, but again, trying to get hold of him is a bit of a nightmare due to his work schedule. I would love for you to give me some tips and pointers on how to do so, if possible. I have a lot of views that I would like to get out there about politics and more. Thanks for taking the time to read my email. Look forward to hearing back from you. Take care. Well, there you go. What I'll do is actually, I've talked about this before, but I helped that other guy a few weeks ago on the podcast. I gave him some information. He actually messaged me again, so I messaged him back. So what I'll do for you is today, I will take this message once I push the stop button on recording today, and I'll send you back a message and what to get and what software to get and stuff, what stuff to use to get on the different platforms and stuff like that. So only more than happy to help. Once you get set up and stuff with your podcast, then certainly give me a wee link across and I'll have a listen to it. And I'm not a big political person, and obviously when it comes to politics, I just like to have my opinion on it. But again, certainly I'll give you a listen. I've got your details now on Facebook here, so I'll send a wee message back to you here shortly after I finish recording the podcast today, and I'll point you in the right direction how to get set up and stuff. So not a problem. I'm more than happy to help. So thank you for your message. Thank you for taking your time to listen to me rambling on every week as well. I do appreciate it. Right, let's move on, guys. It's night time for the segment of the week that everybody loves. I love getting all your recommendations for this jackass of the week this week. There's quite a few candidates this week. There's quite a few that have come out this week. But again, you know who it's going to be again because of this whole scandal that's been going on this last week or so. It's night time for the segment, guys, that everybody loves. It's night time for the Moore Army podcast Jackass of the Week segment. There he is, old Boris the Donkey. I love old Boris the Donkey. I wonder if he sent his WhatsApp messages into the government to read during the old COVID crap. Oh dear. Well, to be honest with you, there's not very much consideration about the Jackass of the Week this week because everything that's come out over the last 4, 5, 6 days since that all the story broke last week. So there's very little competition for this person to be named Jackass of the Week. So after very little consideration, now it did come down to maybe 3 or 4 because there's been a few things knocking about this week that have been candidates for Jackass of the Week, but this person has won by a landslide, especially after everybody coming forward and everybody coming up all these the stories that we didn't know about and all the stuff that's been going on behind the scenes at old ITV. So the Jackass of the Week for this week is, can I get a drum roll please? Thank you very much. The Moore Army podcast Jackass of the Week for this week. Was he Jackass of the Week last week? I think he was, yeah. Well, he's Jackass of the Week this week anyway. Phillip Schofield. There you go. Yes, Boris, you tell him. You all know, guys, the reason why he's been jackass of the week, because obviously everything's been coming out over the last 5 or 6 days about the whole scandal about him having the affair with the young man behind his wife's back, and all the ITV controversy, all the bullying, all the stuff that's been coming out, people coming forward and speaking up about him and all too as well. You know, he is definitely the jackass of the week. There's no doubt about it. So he is. So speaking of segments in the show, I mean, obviously, if somebody has been sending me in segments, what you'd like me to bring on to the podcast, obviously we have Jackass of the Week and stuff like that there. You know, could there be, if somebody's sending me about bringing in different segments of the show, which I've actually took a lot into consideration. There's been somebody who's been saying, like, you know, you have Jackass of the Week, Matthew, maybe you should do the hero of the week. Who stands out in your eyes as a public hero for the week? You know, maybe someone who has done a good service, or someone who's been kind-hearted, or something that stood out in the news, like somebody's helped someone or whatever, or something good's happened or whatever that. And that's probably a segment that may bring into the podcast here. But again, keep your suggestions coming, guys. What segments you'd like to hear here on the Moore Army podcast? So the Jackass of the Week for this week is no surprise. You all know who it's going to be. It's going to be Phillip Schofield. So it is, without a fucking doubt. He's a moron. He's a clown. So he is. He's an absolute clown. And I have no doubt in my mind there's going to be more coming out over the next few days about this, especially over the weekend. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But alright, guys, that's going to bring us to the end of this week's podcast. Thank you for listening. I'm going to have more great content next week. I'm coming back on Tuesday. I've got a good weekend ahead of me. I've got some big football matches coming up this weekend. I'm going to be heading up to Belfast this weekend as well. Just trying to enjoy the weather as much as I can. Tonight I'm going to have a few beers in the garden, enjoy the sunshine. And maybe over the weekend, if the weather's nice, I may even organise a wee barbecue with my family or something. I don't know yet. We'll just have to wait and see. But I'm going to be dropping some vlogs on the channel over the next day or so as well, because I got 2 dropped today. And then I got a couple more drop over the weekend, so stay tuned for them. So once again, guys, you want to get in touch with the programme before we go, you can by the email, moorearmypodcast@yahoo.com. Also, you can contact us on the old social media, Instagram, Facebook, and also the website, which is moorearmy.co.uk. Right, guys, I'm going to head down the road here, so I hope you all have a great weekend. Behave yourselves, a lot of you out there. Thank you for your messages. Keep flooding them in, because I'll keep replying to them and keep talking to you. I do appreciate all your support towards the podcast and more. And I do enjoy listening to all your stories and all your messages as well. So, yeah, I hope you all have a great weekend there, guys. And I'll see you back here on Tuesday for another podcast. So until then, enjoy your weekend. I'll see you all soon, guys. I'll see you all on Tuesday for another episode of the Moore Army podcast. Thanks for listening.